How's it going, everybody? And so, continuing on in Revelation, I think we wrap up 12. Is this a wrap up? No, just continuing on in Revelation 12. And his tail drew a third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered to devour her child as soon as it was born. This woman represents Mary with childbirth, but also, of course, in essence, all throughout this represents the church. And she brought forth a man child, as the church did, because Jesus came through the proper bloodline. But she is also Mary in this particular case. But when it talks about in the next verse, then that'll be the church. There's no, Mary didn't flee into the wilderness where she had a place prepared for God. That's talking about the end times church. She brought forth a man child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. Excuse me. God, did y'all hear that? Hopefully you didn't. I do have a good microphone though. And the woman fled into the wilderness where she have a place prepared of God that they should feed her there 1,260 days. I do believe that this is inclusive of God's wrath. We know the Great Tribulation is only 3.5 days, unless this is part of the 1,260 days along with God's wrath. But remember, Jesus said he cuts those days short, so then it wouldn't, then these days will also be cut short. But there's just, we know the Great Tribulation is 3.5 days from the previous chapter, and we proved that. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. And again, don't forget the time, and half of a dividing a time in Daniel. That could be 3.5 years when you look at it in the Hebrew or Aramaic. I think it's the Hebrew, or it transfers to 3.5 days, one or the other. And there was a war in heaven, and Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels and prevailed not. Neither was there a place found any more for them in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world, and he was cast out unto the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. When did this take place? Somebody asked me. Like, well, the fall of Satan was really like kind of in and or around at the foundation of the world. So he was cast out along with his 1/3 of the angels in that respect. But this could, as it's placing us in the end times here, which is what we're dealing with, that it starts to maybe say that Satan's power as these demons and these angels, these fallen angels and God's angels, have these special powers that being cast out, it says their place found anymore in heaven. So in that 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional, whatever it is, because I think they can move in and out of time and space, that maybe they have lost that power, is what you're reading here, that they no longer have these special angelic demonic powers. That's just a theory. Let God be true and every man a liar. I'm just theorizing here. So, and the great dragon and that old serpent called the devil and Satan was deceived the whole world, and he was cast into the earth. So it's more like now, per my theory, that he's more like in the form of human form, and his angels were cast out with him. And what is that Bible verse that talks about Old Testament Bible verse that talks about how Satan is so little and small? Yeah, it's Isaiah 14 and Ezekiel 28. Um, that where it talks about, oh, which one is it? Do you really want to get into both of them? I think it's Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14, King James Version, Bible Gateway. I'll be like the Most High, made the wilderness and the kings of the nations will rise up against. Ezekiel 28, King James Version, Bible Gateway. And Garden Eden. It says something along the lines of you can't believe that he ends up being in the garden of Eden, prepared to the anointed cherub, covereth thee, was perfect in thy ways, multitude, merchandise filled, thine heart filled. I will cast thee to the ground. I will lay thee before kings, and they will behold thee. Thou hast defiled thy sanctuaries by the multitude of thine iniquities, and thine iniquities. Therefore, I will bring forth a fire from the midst of thee, it shall devour thee, and I will bring thee to ashes upon the earth in the sight of men that behold thee, and they that know thee among the people will be astonished at thee. Thou shalt be a terror, and never shalt thou be any more. So I think this is what this is paralleling. Son of man, set thy face against Zidion, the prophecy against. Yeah, I don't send above the clouds. These shall be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. And hell means the grave, or to Sheol. It's the lake of fire where the fire is, the sides of the pit, that they shall narrowly look upon thee and consider these. This is it. This is the one I was saying. And when they see him, they shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth tremble, that did shake the kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners, and all the kings of the nations, even of them, lie in glory, every one in his house? But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and the raiment of those are slain, thrust through the sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, and trodden under foot. Thou shalt be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people in the seed of the prepare slaughter for his children iniquity. So I think that's pretty much that I will break the Assyrian in my land. I think that's the Antichrist. The Antichrist is the Assyrian. The Antichrist is the Assyrian. Yeah. And see, the Assyrians landed in Germany. The Assyrian bloodline landed in Germany. As an ancient migration, but significant Assyrian communities exist in Germany today. Yes. And that's where the Drumpf German bloodline. While some French theories connect ancient Assyrian to Germany, historically and genetic evidence doesn't support this. The modern Assyrians are descendants of the ancient Mesopotamians, maintaining their Aramaic language. But anyway, you can see that some of them did go to Germany. Um, yep. Germany hosts a large Assyrian diaspora, whatever that word is, diaspora, with communities in cities like Munich, Paderborn, and Berlin. Well, there you go. Well, we're just knocking out all kinds of stuff, aren't we? And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, "Now is come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night." And they're like, "Is this the man? Is this him?" Once he's cast down. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives until death. All right, now we get into the third epistle of John. The elder unto the well-beloved Gaius, whom I love in the truth. Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth. So you're strong of the spirit, but I'm hoping your body is also strong. For I rejoiced greatly when the brethren came and testified of the truth that is in thee, even as you walk in the truth. I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in truth. Beloved, thou doest faithfully whatsoever thou doest to the brethren and to strangers, which have borne witness of your love before the church, whom if thou bring forward on their journey after godly sort, thou shalt do well. Charity and love are the same things, agape. Because that for his name's sake that they went forth, taking nothing of the Gentiles. Let's go through that in the New Living. I hope all is well with you, some of our traveling teachers. Could have no greater joy than to hear that my children are following the truth. Dear friend, you are being faithful to God when you care for the traveling teachers who pass through, even though they are strangers to you. They have told the church here of your loving friendship. Please continue providing for such teachers in a manner that pleases God, for they are traveling for the Lord, and they accept nothing from people who are not believers. I'm glad you're here. I love you very much. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm here for.